bring in Bell Point, their chief strategist, David Nelson, along with Gibbs Wealth Management's Aaron Gibbs. Aaron, what does this market need to see to sort of get out of this range that it's been stuck in?
I think we really need to see less inflation fears. I think we need to see a couple months where we aren't seeing these massive increases in prices, particularly consumer prices, and even at the industrial level. So as long as those headlines keep popping up, and there's another big headline in the Wall Street Journal today, I think that's what is really going to take, because right now we're still seeing this rotation where we have some days where one type of type of growth or value stocks are winning versus the other, and we're not seeing consistent performance and breadth.
Right. So just as you were speaking, Chipotle said they raised their prices 3.5% to 4% across the entire menu last week. So, David, we get that. Those headlines are going to keep coming. By the same token, you saw Edward. He's in Las Vegas. He's walking around. They got the concrete thing going on. How come? When will that sort of play a role again? Against these higher prices, the notion that this country and eventually the world is reopening at a faster pace.
I think it's pretty obvious. It's obvious to me that the country's reopening. The vaccine rollout, that's working. It's certainly working here in Connecticut. I'm looking outside my window right now. I see nothing but cranes. America's going back to work, at least for those who want to work. They have the opportunity to do that. The jobs numbers that are available are incredible out there. If you want a job, you can go out and get one right now. The estimates continue to rise. They're up about 13% since the start of the year, and I think analysts are still behind the curve. I think we're looking at a $200 S&P earnings number by the end of the year.
I agree with you on that. So let's talk about some individual winners in today's session. Wendy's, the Reddit crew piling in there. But, I got to tell you, other restaurants, Darden looks extremely well today. Gap stores finally dropped their first Kanye thing that was announced last summer. That's up a little bit higher. But again, Ulta also higher. Aaron, so you've got these stocks that are higher and there's all kinds of things associated with it, but these sectors also look pretty good. Are you a buyer of any of them?
So I think a lot of these, what we're talking about, these are reopening trades, people going out, buying clothes, eating at restaurants. If I really want to put it as a theme, I'd say pick experience, like going out to eat, versus apparel. And we know that apparel stores still have way too many stores. They have way too large footprints. And I think that even as we reopen, maybe there might be a pop, but I think longer term, they're still going to face the same problems they faced for the past 5 years. However, I've liked Darden Restaurants for a long time. I think that stock was deeply undervalued for quite some time, and I still think there's potential after it's been trying to retrace some of its March high. So I say, if you're looking for consumer stock experiences, go for those.
I know you, neither one of you really are in the, do this sort of Reddit thing, but when you look at the list, and Wendy's, for instance, this is, a name that's been around. There's Wall Street coverage of it. I mean, the Workhorse is up big today. That's the #1 short. Clover is up. And of course, GameStop and AMC. I mean, would you touch something like a Wendy's, Aaron?
Not for me, Charles, but I would look at something like a BlackBerry. That's a name that's actually showed up on my radar. But I would ask the question, what's going to be the data point that keeps you in the name when the selling starts? And if it isn't a fundamental metric, it's likely to be something like Hope. So I'm going to have to take a pass.
I was in BlackBerry on my own account. I knew it was high risk about a year before this whole thing exploded, and I did take profits the first go round. So I was in there accidentally. Aaron, you were going to say?
I think it's just one thing, it's very difficult. And so unless you're really on top of it and you're getting alerts every single minute, and even as a professional, I think it's very hard to be able to trade as quickly enough with some of these stocks. So I think some people may get lucky, some people really get burned. And so I just tend to say, avoid those stocks and stick with fundamentals so you can trade on something that you can hold for a year. I gotta tell
you, what's really crazy is that it's not. I keep hearing folks saying that people are trading them, they're volatile. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, they're going straight up. If you just bought and held all of them, you'd be you'd be doing so well. Let me ask you about this, David. This morning, all of these major websites around the world were down, and a lot of them are used Fastly. The stock was indicating to be down a lot. It did open lower. Then it turned around. Last time I checked, it was up $3. Is this a sort of great kind of, baptism by fire that Wall Street wants to see? All of a sudden, what could have been a disaster, maybe this is now a buy?
Look, kudos to management for making this work and working on it really fast and preventing what could have been a serious, shutdown. But for myself as a portfolio manager, I look at the financials of this company. This is a company that's been around about 10 years. It's been 2 years a public company. It's still not profitable. I look at, as far as I can see, on a GAAP basis, they're not earning money.
All right, now the same week we get Jeff Bezos. He is officially now the Rocket Man. His main rival, Elon Musk, continues to turn his celebrity fame into celebrity scorn. People are starting to hate on him because of his stuff with the with the meme stocks, and I mean with the cryptocurrency. So there's a song I love. It's called Rocket Love by Stevie Wonder, and there's a line in there that says it all, right? It says, "You took me riding in a rocket, you gave me a star, and then you dropped me back to Earth." You know, Aaron, are there stocks that you love or like a lot, mostly in part because of the CEO? The way people looked up to him, as a professional investor, are there CEOs that you admire enough that it influences you investing in their stock?
There are a few. I probably have a little less than some of the others, but I think Mary Barra for GM. Again,
Right.
she's stellar record performance.
No, she's done extraordinarily well.